Hello, so today's day 8. I've had a gorgeous morning just wandering around their other property, or one of their other properties. As I said earlier, there's 3 of them. There's actually a lot more, but in this vicinity there's 3 of them. So I went to their first one, Sommathiran, which is just above. Beautiful, and took a great video of the Arabian Ocean. Love that. I used to love the Arabian Nights when I was a kid, you know. Yes, so day 5, when it finished off, I was slightly different. I had to have the medicated rice bath. But you know, the thing on my head, the bath on my head, the what do you call it? The full body massage, which is really about massaging your lymph. So most of what they believe in Ayurveda is your lymph system, which, you know, I've been following a guy called Dr. Perry, I think his name is, and he does this lymph massage. So when I do the rebounder, I do that massage as well. And it's kind of inspired me after learning a bit more about it to really start working your lymph. Your lymph nodes, your lymph system, because I don't think many people do. And interestingly enough, Hashimoto's. So the doctor that discovered Hashimoto's, Dr. Hashimoto, actually said it was more a lymph system, more about your lymph system and how your thyroid and lymph actually go together, how they interact. And so it was actually had the word lymph in it for decades, and then all of a sudden lymph's been taken out and it's become Hashimoto's, where they just put you on the drugs for T3 and T4 or whatever the thyroid hormone is. But if you work your lymph nodes, if you work your lymph system, sorry, not your nodes, but if you work your whole lymph system, then your thyroid kind of sorts itself as well. So that's kind of interesting. Who knew, right? So that was pretty cool, day 5, and again had another bath at the end. Day 6, I was starting to get tired. I think maybe day 6 was when I did my last video and I couldn't even finish the yoga. And then, so I was really weary doing that, and in that one I had an extra step, which is, and I have to take a photo because they're hilarious, they're like these boxes that you sit in with your head out, these wooden boxes, and had to have a steam in there, so they put that was like a sauna, a steam bath thing that they put on there. So that was kind of fun. I don't mind the steam, even though it's pretty hot here. And I have to say, I've been so lucky. Like, the weather has been amazing, considering it's, what do you call it? It's monsoon, or it's rainy season. I hear the rain at night when I'm asleep, but the rest of the time, it's just been magic. You know, I've just been lying by the pool. And today I think as I said, I went through for a beautiful walk up in the other property, Sommathiran, which is just above, and I might go up there and have lunch today. Why not? You know, same food, different chefs, so I'm curious to see what the food is like, but it was beautiful taking videos of the whole Arabian Ocean. I might edit something in there when I get back. It's too hard to try and edit and upload and things here. The internet is pretty good, I have to say, but it just takes time, and you know, I'm busy being lazy, really, let's be honest. But yesterday was Purgation Day, and Purgation Day, you wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning and you have to have some more ghee. I think it's medicated, I'm not sure. And within half an hour, another 2-3 big glasses of warm water, and then you start clearing out. Well, it actually took me about 2.5 hours to clear out, or to start. You're only allowed to have rice soup, which is kind of really just boiled rice in water. So I'm assuming it's what they boiled it in. I have to ask them about that, actually. Then I just slept. Like, I was so tired, headachy, all that kind of stuff, excuse me. And then, I had khichdi Khichdi, I think it's called, they call it here, which is like a khichari or whatever it is. I made that at home. It's so yummy. And yeah, so I had that for lunch. And then they do a light treatment on Purgation Day because, as I said, you know, I was awake for 20 minutes and I'd sleep and then I'd wake and then I'd sleep, and, you know, even walking up to go to the lift upstairs to the treatment rooms was a bit of an effort. But then I had a full body massage, face massage, had that beautiful thing across my head again with the oil and the medicated milk. And then I was covered in like a red, what do you call it? Like a red mud, but it's quite sandy, so they rub it in. And then they cover you up, covered me with that. And actually that's what happened. That's what I was covered in when they did. I've got to find out what that treatment is. I know what that treatment's called. I've just got to try and get my head around pronouncing it. Yeah, and then the usual, you know, you get your coconut water and you go back to your room and you sit with I had a different face mask on. I had a rice mask on this time. And you sit there, I sit there for like half an hour, actually usually about an hour before I wash it off and, you know, and then go for dinner. And, the one thing that happened on day 6, I've lost track of days. I think today is Thursday, but I'm not 100% sure, so sorry about that. Would it be Thursday from day 8? I don't know. Anyway, it's too hard for me to think about that kind of thing. But they had dancing at dinner the other night, traditional Indian dancing, and I turned up and they had a table set for me right at the front, like the 2 long tables with the Japanese group and the French group on the other side. And then, but they had one table like front and center with just a single setting, and that was mine. I know, right? It was kind of like, do I have to sit here, like right at the front? And apparently I did. And as it turned out, because I'm here for 21 days, I got awarded all these gifts, you know, like a little wooden elephant with a umbrella and a sari, and what else did I get? And I got a whole bag of herbs and spices, you know. So at first they said they were honouring people that are back for their 2nd and 3rd and 4th visits, which a few people are. And then they called out my name, and it kept saying, come up. And I was like, what am I coming up for? You know, and they said, no, you too. I was like, oh my gosh, I was a bit overwhelmed. But anyway, it was beautiful. I mean, to be honest, everybody here, all the staff are just divine. I've met some great people. Greta, Swiss couple, Swiss, they've come from Switzerland. She works at the UN where they demine, and stupid me, I'm like, oh, okay, thinking, oh, that's when they get rid of, you know, iron ore mines and reforest it. No, that's land mines. Princess Di. So anyway, we had a bit of a chuckle about that because that is kind of funny. But it just shows you how much I'm out, you know, like how naive we are in Australia, right? So common thing over there. Also the languages they all speak. You know, Greta speaks, you know, French, German, Italian, Swiss. There's a couple in there. She said she speaks a little bit of Spanish, a little bit of something or other else. Anyway, God, you kind of realise, don't you? You know, we're stuck in Australia. We just speak one language. So there you go. So that's kind of it for today. Today, I've just been lazy. You know, I've woken up feeling much better than I did, much more energy, been having some kind of crazy dreams, quite emotional dreams. So obviously I'm processing something. Pitta is the more angry dosha. So, but it looks like a lot of people here are Pitta dosha. From what I understand, I'm not going to do the vomiting. Well, I'm a little bit disappointed about that. So I'm going to talk to them about that. They said that. I did speak to them the other day, and they said, well, we kind of only do it if you need to do it. So I kind of think this is not like the real traditional Panchakarma, which is kind of a bit disappointing because that's what I wanted. I wanted to experience the whole thing, but I was going to go to Sri Lanka, where the Panchakarma is actually originally from, but the place that I was recommended was booked out because July is their, or not booked out, sorry, they're closed because July is their national holiday, or sorry, their like summer holiday. So, whereas, as I said, a friend of mine or one of my clients has actually done it, and she recommended a place, and then she said she went and did the Panchakarma somewhere out of the venue. So, anyway, curious to know and interesting if I come back and do it again. And I'm tempted to, but there's so many places to see in the world, right? So I'm kind of thinking, do I do another Panchakarma somewhere else? Or do I now do another, like I kind of like the thought of doing detoxes. Do I go to another country like Costa Rica and do a traditional detox in there or something like that? Who knows? I don't know. As I said, so many places to see, so much to do. We'll see what pans out for me. But that's kind of my update for today. And yeah, catch you later.